What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm back. I'm back from my 2-week hiatus. I had some stuff and then some other stuff, but we are back working on the car. Pretty much, I'm excited about it because we are very close to getting this thing fired up. By very close, I mean two wires, about 5 or so fuel lines. Then we fill this thing with fluids and we fire it up. That's pretty sweet. I was at home, played with the MSD box a little bit there, got a first fire up tune, something I think is going to work just fine. Set the timing where I wanted it, things of that nature. And yeah, we're getting real close. So in this video, we're going to be tightening up everything, fixing up all the odds and ends, and getting this thing ready to fire up. All right, so as far as some of the things that you guys didn't see, because I may have not made a video, but I did come out here and do a few things while I had some time. Like I said, had my course deal there. I was sick. There was whatever. It's 2 weeks. Didn't really have time to come out here, but I found some time. We got the alternator wired up, put the intake on, got the plug wires on. What else did we do? There's a few other things we did. I just can't really think of them right now. So on top of all that stuff, we are now at the point where we are going to be putting the carb on, putting some fuel lines together, wiring up the fuel pump. That is where we are at. I did get a new mic. Hopefully it sounds better. And after that, we're going to add some fluids to this thing and plug the laptop in, upload the timing table and all that stuff that I kind of built for this thing, and pray nothing leaks. And hope this thing fires up. That's where we're at. So thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of the video. I'm excited, but got a little bit more work to do before we do that. And honestly, after we fire it up, there is so much more work to do afterwards. You know, getting the dash in, getting the tranny in, cleaning up all the wiring and stuff that I have just kind of thrown in here. Put the gauges in, brake lines. Along with brake lines, I got to do the brake lights to the brake pedal. Put the carpet in. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. We're kind of, we're at the tail end. If this thing fires up and is charging, because I wired the alternator correctly, it's not hard, but it's me, so I can surely screw some things up. We'll be good to go and on the road here in probably the next few months. I gotta get new front runners, gotta get new tires for the front, gotta put the tires on the rear, make sure nothing hits, and put the hood on, the front bumper, the rear bumper, clean this thing up, and then we're ready to rumble. So pretty exciting. I don't necessarily need to get this thing fired up to finish anything else, but it's right here. It's all wired up. I might as well just get to that point. So, you know, fire it up, get a nice little shot of motivation right to the arm, and yeah, I'm excited. So that's kind of the plan. We are going to wire up the fuel pump, run some fuel lines, and we'll see where we're at. Maybe we'll fire it up in this video. I don't know. It's too early to tell. I could screw all this up right now. It's a possibility, but that's where we're at. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to get back to work. So one thing about the new mics is that there is a noise canceling option on them, which I hope is working right now strictly because it may not be 5 degrees out that it was, but it's still cold. So I got the heater running right now, and I kind of hope that's not really that big of a noise issue. So we'll find that out when I go to edit this thing up. My hope is that it's fine, and that with the noise canceling, I don't need to turn the heater off when I want to make a video now. That'd be pretty nice. Um, it's kind of funny. You take 2 weeks off from making a video, and all of a sudden you completely forgot how to do it. I feel a little rusty on it, but what are you gonna do? You're not, that's where we're at. So, tightening up the hose clamps right now. I'm not 100% sure when I go to fire this thing if I'm going to add coolant to it or not. Mainly because I don't have a temp gauge that's going to work at the moment. I have one, but the adapter for it doesn't exist. The NPT fitting adapter to make the autometer gauge work does not go, they don't make one. I bought one for an LS. I tried to drill it out so that way my temp gauge would slide through. And really what happened is I made the metal on that fitting so thin that actually turning it and spinning it into the head to tighten it actually ripped the threads. So I don't have a temp gauge at the moment, but I do have a temperature sensor. So when, hold on. So when I do fire this thing up, I can at least have the laptop plugged into the MSD box because the temperature sensor is plugged into the MSD box. So I can at least be monitoring the temperature. And I'm going to be doing the same thing with the RPM and the idle and all that stuff because at the moment, I don't have the tach wired in. I'm going to do all that stuff once the dash is in because I'm not going to be wiring and figuring all that out before I even know where those gauges are going to go. Just doesn't make sense. Especially not when I can just plug the computer in and have all that information right there sitting in front of me running. So it's really no different. But that's where we're at. Tighten up these hoses, and then, yeah, we're going to start making some fuel lines. All right, so that took way entirely too long. But we have fuel lines. We have coming into the regulator, the return, going to the carburetor, going to the nitrous. It took way entirely too long. Man, I haven't done a lot with braided hose, and I'm going to be honest with you, I completely forgot that to get it done and to do it correctly, you need to make a whole bunch of blood sacrifices just to get the lines together. It's incredible how sharp that stainless steel is that's inside of them. It's, yeah, a lot of fun, frustrating, all that stuff, but we got it done. It's all good now. Fuel lines are done. Carb is bolted on. Fuel lines are tight except for the ones going to the carburetor, because I'm going to, when I get the fuel pump wired up, I'm going to put like a gallon of just bullshit gas in there, and then I will just run it right back into the right back into a container, so that way it just kind of flushes the system, gets out anything that was in there, and then I'll put some, decent pump gas in there. I think it's all crap now, but put some decent pump gas in there, and then we'll be ready to fire this thing up. So kind of on that note, let's recap. Everything's wired right now that needs to be wired to fire this thing up. We now have fuel lines ran from the fuel cell to the fuel pump, all the way up to the regulator, all the way to the carb, and all the way back to the fuel cell. I even got the vent on the fuel cell taken care of. That's all done. So everything that should need to be done is done. All right? You need air, you need spark, and you need fuel. And I got everything but fuel, but I got everything that can get fuel from the tank to the carburetor. All done. So, like I said, I'm going to probably put a gallon in here. Hope nothing leaks. If something leaks, that is going to be my 13th reason, because of how much time and blood and everything that went into getting those lines done. Okay? So if anything leaks, I might as well just let the car go at that point in time. Make sure nothing leaks. Fix anything that's leaking if I got to. I have some leftover fuel line. I don't know if I have enough to like make a whole bunch of repairs, but hopefully I don't need to. We are going to hope that I did everything right. Everything's tight. And when I hit the switch to the fuel pump, all it does is it's just going to rinse out the lines back into the gas tank, and then that gas can go somewhere. I don't care. And we'll fill it up with probably 93 or something of the sorts there. And we will then load the tune that I got up into the MSD box. Ooh, it's raining now. And then we will try to fire this thing. Make sure we got oil pressure, all that stuff. So, not going to be this video. I took way too long in making those lines for it to be this video, but it's okay because it's now done. It's now behind me. Kind of just going to wrap this up by saying, next video, we are going to try to fire this thing up. I don't know what we're going to run into. That's kind of one of the big reasons I'm even doing this, is just to make sure that I can put that behind me. If this thing fires up, then I can put all of the mechanical stuff kind of behind me for now. We can get the dash in, we can get the carpet in, we can get all the gauges in, we can wire up brake lights. Yeah, this thing can kind of start going back together, because I just won't have to wire anything, because it'll pretty much all be done. Get the transmission in there, get the converter in there, and hook up the shifter, measure for a drive shaft, make some brake lines, and buzz on down the road. So let's just do kind of a quick walk around, kind of try to remember everything that we got going on here. One thing I am super excited about to actually get this thing done, as I'm staring at it, I'm staring at the rat nest of wiring that I have done. Being able to clean that up and make it all nice, because wiring will be done, and I'll be able to kind of zip tie everything in place, make sure it's all nice and clean and good looking, so it's easy to follow for when I have an electrical problem down the road, because I did it. So it's going to be me. I'm going to have to fix it, because, yeah. Just being honest. I got nothing. I'm wore out from doing those fuel lines. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm still getting over being sick, but those things beat my ass. and I'm done with this thing for the day. I'm putting some tools away, calling it good. All right, I'm gonna do a quick little walk around to this thing. We got shifter in, all the wiring. That's a mess that I got to clean up, but you know, we're getting to that. Oil pressure gauge on the outside because I don't know where it's going to go on the dash. So to fire it up, I just threw it on the cowl. Alternator is wired up. Hopefully that thing charges. I'll be throwing a voltmeter on that to make sure it does. Got the fuel lines routed. The fuel lines at the moment are just hanging out underneath the car. I haven't like tucked them up, made them nice and out of the way. Mainly because if something's, I don't want to put them all up, you know, put them in the hangers and do all that stuff, especially if something's leaking that I got to fix anyway. So double check all that stuff that it's not leaking and that it's good to go. And then I'll tuck all those up out of the way. Real straightforward stuff here. I mean, nothing too crazy. I got to wire in the brake lights to the brake light switch that I got, but we got our vent going out. We got our return. We got, this thing doesn't want to go down. Hello. Got it coming out of the bottom through, you know, hole with a grommet to the fuel pump over there, and then runs all the way up to here. I'm just, come on now. I'm just excited to have fuel lines. I mean, I don't know. Getting a little self-conscious. Everything looks like a mess in the car. So really, it would be kind of nice to kind of get some things done so I can start cleaning up all that stuff so it doesn't look like it's all just thrown together like it is. But yeah, pretty stoked. So I don't know. I'm going to wrap this up here. I'm done rambling. Hopefully I sound better at least when I ramble. Yeah, next video we're going to fire this thing up, or at least give it my best shot. That's it. That's all I got. Welcome back. I'm back after 2 weeks to being ready to fire this thing up. Huge. Next video we'll fire it up. Hopefully. That's the plan. And I'll be able to hear this thing for the first time, hear that nitrous camshaft hitting, and go from there. I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm done rambling. I appreciate you guys. If you made it this far, might as well subscribe. Might as well share it to a friend. Might as well like it. It's up to you, though, of course. Yeah. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one where we actually get this thing running. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next.